I hope the last 2 weeks have been kind to you. I know kids are going back to school and everybody's settling back down into their routine. And a lot of times, I know I'm a parent. That is kind of a relief to get back in that routine. Don't get me wrong. Everybody misses the fun of summer vacation, but that routine is comforting in some ways. But anyway, welcome back. I will say, this is actually the second time. No, let me back up. This is the third time I've tried to film this today. Life update: the kittens have been given a clean bill of health. They are back to their wild little selves, and yeah, it was an ordeal. Let's see. The first time I attempted to film this, you see the big gap in my fabric shelf. Jelly Bean tried to climb it and pulled all the fabric out. They are currently in a pile, waiting for me to fold them back up and put them back on the shelf. He was helping. While he was doing that, Snickers was on top of the ironing board, pulling pins out of my stacks of fabric that I have waiting to be cut, and I had to wrestle those away from him and take them out of his mouth. They were both taking turns attacking the dog, because of course they were. And at one point, Snickers tried to drink my mocha. Snickers doesn't need any more caffeine. It's a thing. But anyway, we're going to try this again. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to put the first disaster out there and say, you know what it is. Welcome to my world. This is my life. But that's okay, because I would rather have 2 wild little boys than 2 deathly ill little boys that I had a couple weeks ago. So it's all good. And this time, Artemis has passed out in my bedroom and is not in here at my feet with her tail thumping everything, so that you hear thump, 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 thump the whole time I'm trying to talk. Because I live in a zoo. But it's okay. I love my babies. But anyway, welcome to the zoo. That is my craft room. You're all welcome. I want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for the likes, the subscribes. Thank you very much for your comments. They brighten my day. They really do. I spend a good part of my time isolated. I live in a rural area. I have weird neighbors, and that's a nice way of putting it. I live in a town where I don't know a single soul locally who does anything crafty or sew or any of that, or read. I don't know anybody locally who likes to read, which is kind of concerning. So as I've said before, that is why I started my Flosstube, to find friends that I can chat with about crafts and the things that I like to do. I mean, I have my husband, but you know, his interest is only skin deep. Okay. When I start talking about the intricacies of what I'm doing, the eyes glaze over, and I will give him credit. He does try, but he doesn't understand, and that's okay. He still thinks it's cool. Oh, cool, I get to pick from the cup. Oh, this is what we're going to do. That's awesome. Oh, hey, I really like that one. You finished it. Great. That's about where it stops. Artemis just noticed I left. One moment. She has joined us, so you'll hear the click, click, click of her nails. Because hounds. But she's a good hound. and her mama loves her, so it's okay. Anyway, like I said, as I was saying, I am isolated much of the day. I had mentioned before in my introduction in my first Flosstube that I used to be a speech therapist for the schools. I did that for several years, and I got into the field because I wanted to help children. I wanted to help, well, people. My specialty was autism, and I did that for a while. But the school district is a truly, truly toxic place to work. And I am not speaking politically. I don't do politics ever. I won't discuss them. I'm not interested, and I'm not having it. I'm not talking politically, but it is a toxic environment because there's a lot of there's backstabbing, there's all kinds of things, and honestly, current policies as they are today really prevent you from helping the kids who need help most. And I did burn out, and it was affecting my health negatively. I am prone to migraines. When my anxiety is high, I get a migraine. And literally, I learned to work through migraines because I had migraines every single day for 3 years, which is why I went back to school for horticulture. And once I received my degree in that, I resigned from the school district. I refused to do speech anymore, which is sad, but that's the state of the world today. Kindness is in really short supply, and that is sad. But in any case, I did the horticulture thing for a while, but when my daughter aged out of the programs at our local school, a decision had to be made. Okay. As I mentioned before, my daughter has multiple medical conditions, and one of them is autism. So she cannot stay 8 hours a day, every day by herself. Okay. Now, we do leave her alone for short periods, but I mean, we make sure she's had something to eat, that she's settled down with either a video game or movies or her art supplies or whatever. We make sure she's taken care of before we leave the house to go do whatever it is we're going to do that she's not interested in, and we're only gone for short periods. So we made the decision for me to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's been an adjustment. I am more or less isolated. I don't have local friends who like to do anything I like to do. I have Laura from I Stitch Birds, but she's on the complete opposite side of the globe. She's in Australia. I'm in Texas. Although we do chat often. And of course, she always gets pictures of what I'm doing. I always get pictures of what she's doing, etc., etc. We send each other gifts, cards, things like that. We are very good friends. I love Lara. I do have a couple of friends in Florida who craft. I have a friend in New York who crafts. But again, I'm in Texas. That's thousands of miles away. So I don't have anyone local. Now, not to say that I started a Flosstube channel to find local friends. That's not what I did. I started a Flosstube channel because I wanted to become part of a kind community. And from what I've seen from watching other Flosstubes, the people in this community are truly kind. And I appreciate that. Like I said, kindness is in short supply today. And I wanted to be part of that community. And I wanted to find like-minded people who enjoy doing the crafts that I like to do. So that's why I'm here. But all of this this is me rambling and me telling you how much I appreciate your comments, because your comments really truly do brighten my day and make me feel a little less isolated. As I mentioned before, I do have anxiety, and I honestly, in the world we live in today, I think you'd be hard pressed to find anyone who doesn't have anxiety to some degree. I also suffer from PTSD. I am a survivor of an attempted murder. We'll just leave it at that. And so I am very shy, skittish around people. It is difficult for me to trust people until I get to know them. And so I do spend a lot of time isolated. Now, don't get me wrong. Once a week, my daughter and I, we will go out to lunch, and we'll go to the next town over because there's nothing in this town, but we'll go to the next town over, and, you know, we might window shop. We might go to Hobby Lobby because she does art. I do all the things I do. And so we might go to Hobby Lobby. We might, you know, whatever. But we do get out. But it would be nice to have some like-minded friends. So I will always answer your comments, and I love them. They brighten my day, and they make me feel a little less alone. So keep them coming. I love them. And it doesn't matter if I get 1,000 comments, I will make time to answer every single one. But all that leads up to just me saying thank you. Thank you very much for subscribing, for liking. Honestly, when I started this Flosstube, what went through my mind was, okay, you know what? I'll try it. I'll put myself out there. It's part of my therapy for myself. I don't see a therapist. But I forced myself to put myself out there. When in the back of my mind, all I could think of is, who cares what you're doing? Nobody's going to care what you have to say. But you've all been very kind, so thank you. So, life update. As mentioned before, the kittens are back to their wild little selves. They are destroying the house. They're terrorizing the dog, terrorizing Hecate. Everything is back to normal. They are healthy, they are happy, they are wild, they are out of control, and I could not be happier. Thank you so much for all of your well wishes and everything else. It was rough seeing my 2 little babies that sick, but they are fine, and they have recovered 100%, and everything is good to go. So the vet has cleared them both, given them clean bills of health. So we've got them all caught up on all their vaccinations and everything else that needed to be done. They've both been healed, and everything is good to go. So on to cross stitch. I have a very small haul. I spent less than $15, but I was on everything cross stitch one night when I had insomnia, as you do. And they were having a sale. The thing about everything cross stitch is sometimes if you are willing to hunt through the fabrics, the cross stitch fabrics, they will have remnants on sale for $1 or $2. Well, I hit the jackpot. I got 4. The first one, and they're all 14 count Aida. That's what the remnants were. So the first one is a 10 by 10 inch remnant, and it is in antique white, which is just a nice neutral color. The second one is another 10 by 10. Now, as I said, they're all 14 count, and this one is a gorgeous blue. And I saw this color and I was thinking, you know what, this would be nice for some winter themed like ornaments, maybe, you know, snowflakes, snowmen, something along that line. As I said, I'm working on replacing all of my glass ornaments because I have dog, I have cats, I have animals, I have husband, I have a child, 29, but still a child. I am tired of getting up in the morning and sweeping up broken glass, or better yet, stepping on it. Yay! So I am replacing all of my glass ornaments with hand-stitched ones. And of course, obviously, that's going to take time. It's not going to be happening overnight. But these little remnants like this are perfect for that. And it means that I don't have to invest a lot of money in replacing them. On that note, I also got an opalescent white, and I know it's not going to let you see. It's the iridescent opalescent that we've all seen, that we all love, because who doesn't love sparklies? You can kind of see it a little bit, not much, but it is 12 inches by 15 inches, so it's a good size piece. I can get several ornaments out of that. And I specifically was thinking Christmas ornaments for this one. And then I got just a plain old white 14 count 15 by 18 inch. The best thing about white is you can either use it as is or you can dye it. I can do either. I also picked up several threads, and these are all just plain DMC 6-strand that I didn't already have in my collection. So I picked these up. And then the last thing I got, they had all of their mill hills on sale. And I've only done the one mill hill that I'm working on now. That's the only experience I have with mill hill. I've never done any of their small little ornaments. But I saw this one and thought it was so adorable. And of course, there's going to be a glare, because why wouldn't there be? And I love it. I love it. It is so tiny and cute and adorable. So I got it. I'm going to try it out, see if I like it. And if I like it, I'll pick up some more. But it's just so tiny and cute. And there's a whole little picture in there, and I love it. So, and we do actually put up a Halloween tree every year with little spooky ornaments on it. Although this year we'll see, because I have 2 kittens and they love to destroy everything. But anyway, so I picked that up. So that's all the haul I got. I really haven't been shopping much. I just went on that one night because I had insomnia, as I said. That being said, since we're on the subject of cross stitch, let's talk about progress, because I've made quite a bit of progress. We are still in the throes of horrendous summer weather. It's so unpleasant. So lots of stitchy time. Where am I going to put these? I guess they'll sit in my lap. But the first one, I have been working on my mill hill, and it is Moonstruck, so it will look like that, and I love it. I absolutely love the colors. I really do. I think they're gorgeous, and I don't even really see this as like a Halloween one so much as an autumn one with those beautiful jewel tone colors. But I have been working on that. Now, last time you saw this one, it looked like that. I was working on finishing up all of the black section, and I have completed the black, and I have moved on to working on the dark brown. The dark brown, filling in these spots in the tree. I know it's hard to tell dark brown from black, but this, I've started on working on the dark brown so that I can finish filling in this tree and then get to all of those gorgeous magentas over here. I absolutely love the house. I think it's gorgeous. I am still not necessarily a fan of the perforated paper. I find it difficult to work with, especially when you go to thread your thread under your stitches to secure it in the back. But I do love the way it's looking. Now, the other Mill Hill kits I have, I may not stick with the perforated paper. I might put them on fabric. We'll just have to see when my husband picks them from the cup. See what kind of mood I'm in at the time. The next one that I made progress on was my Treasure Island stitch along from Owl Forest Embroidery. Now, they have released 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8 pieces now. I'm way behind. I'm always behind. I've only done 3 sections. This is what it looks like so far from what they have released. The last time I showed it, it looked like this. I had finished the first 2 sections. I had gotten those completely done. I have been working on it, and I have finished 3 sections now. I finished the complete top. I really like it. I really do. But I had done this one, and then this little pirate ship is the one I completed with the little treasure chest down there. But I really like how this one is looking. I'm enjoying stitching it thus far. Now, I've mentioned before I don't like to stitch people, and so far there are 4 sections that are people. So I may not necessarily be looking forward to stitching the people, but I know it's an integral part of the story. You can't have a story without main characters. So I will stitch them, but they're not my favorite. But I do like how it's looking. The next one I worked on was my 4 Elements stitch along from Satsuma Street. Now, obviously, they have already finished releasing all the pieces and everything, and as usual, I'm behind because why wouldn't I be? It's me. Last time you saw it, it looked like this. I had begun filling in that wave, and now I am still working on filling in that wave. I am going from the outside in. I have actually finished this dark aqua color here, and I have finished the bright blue here. I need to fill in some more of the white and the light aqua there. I need to fill in some more of those colors, and I think I still have like 2 little bubbles I have to fill in, but it's coming along. Progress. And and I didn't mention the Treasure Island stitch along I am doing on 16 count Aida that I tea-dyed. Okay, so that's what that one is. And this is just plain 14 count black Aida. And I absolutely love the way the colors pop on the black Aida, but it is difficult for me to stitch in my house because my house is very dark. We don't get a lot of natural light, so it can be difficult to stitch on it in my house. But I am making progress, and I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous when I finish it. So here's that one. The next one I made progress on was my stamped kit. And if you'll recall, this is the the one my mother got for 99 cents somewhere. I don't know where. She stuck it in with my Christmas presents last year. And it just looks like this. It's just a pretty little cup full of lilacs. So, and as I said before, I think it was one of those no-name Chinese companies that people love to hate because they steal others' designs. And don't get me wrong, I am all about that. I would not have bought this myself because of that. I do my own designs. I don't want somebody stealing my work and taking credit for it. But since my mother sent it to me, I will stitch it. And honestly, as you saw, it's a photo. So I'm not sure if it's a matter of they stole somebody else's photo. I don't know. But when you saw it before, it looked like that. I had filled in all of this gray color here and down here. I had filled all of that in. Well, now I have gone and I have filled in all of this pink. And some in here and some up there. The thing about these stamp kits is you can't tell what you stitched and what you haven't because it's all colorful. But I have finished those two colors and I am color completing this because with stamped kits you can do that. You don't have to worry about counting or anything like that. I'm not progressing as fast as I could simply because this canvas is hard for my old decrepit arthritic hands to stitch on, and they do start to hurt after a while. So but I have made progress. The next one I have worked on is the Rare Horror Flies from Noctiflora Stitch Along, and this one just began. All she has released is the frame, and I have done 1 whole quarter of it. Now, when you saw it last time, it looked like this. I had just done the black part. I hadn't filled in any of the colors, but now this corner I have filled in the teal and the green, and I've done the green outlines of the lettering, and I love it. This fabric, I think it's called Deadly Blooms. It is a 14 count Aida, and it was specifically dyed by Witch's Garden Crafts on Etsy for this stitch along. And I love it. I love the greens and purples together. I think it's gorgeous, and I think it goes really well with the colors in this frame. But as I said, I've only done this 1/4 of the frame. I think once I get the frame done, it's really gonna look awesome. But honestly, I can't wait until she releases the next section so I can see really what it's gonna be like. I'm excited about that one. Those are the ones I made progress on. I did not work on my botanical black work. One, I just wasn't in the mood. It is what it is. 2, I started my Christmas stitching. I started a Christmas project. I had shown this before, but I picked up this little Winnie the Pooh ornament kit, and I got it dirt cheap on Amazon, and it was brand new unopened kit. So I got this, and I am stitching it for my daughter for Christmas. She loves Disney, and Pooh Bear is her favorite. I started this yesterday, and I have gotten this far. Now, obviously, I will do all of the back stitching once I finish all the cross stitch, but you know, another 2 days of stitching for me, and this should be finished. Now, they included in the kit a piece of red felt to put on the back to finish it like a pillow ornament. I don't know that I will do that because this is not an ornament that I'm going to be hanging on the tree. It will be hanging in her room on her wall. So, you know, I probably will not finish it as an ornament. I will probably finish it, you know, I'm thinking maybe hanging it on a plaque of wood or something along those lines. I don't want to just frame it, not for something that small, but I will come up with something. I think I'll have a better idea once it's finished and I can see the actual finished stitching. So I'll figure something out. But anyway, there's a new start. And by the next video, it'll be a finish. And it'll probably be a fully finished. So there's that. The next part of the cross stitch is plans. And I do have plans. And all my plans revolve around Christmas. Because now is when I start all of my Christmas stitching. As I said, in maybe another 2 days of stitching, I will finish Winnie the Pooh. Once Winnie the Pooh is finished, I will start this one. And there's a glare. I picked up this little Dimensions Gold Collection kit, brand new, unopened. Again, dirt cheap on Amazon. Sorry, my jelly bean was crying. He was looking for his mama. I snuck out on him while he was sleeping. He is a mama's boy. Snickers prefers his daddy, but Jelly Bean is a mama's boy. He loves his mama. And he purring. Oh, he purring. Now he wants down. There you go, baby. You gonna love up on Artemis? Is that your dog's? But I picked this up on Amazon, dirt cheap, and I figured it would be perfect for my mom for Christmas. My mother loves to read. She reads constantly. Yes, we all do. But she lives up in Oregon with my brother. She used to live with me, but honestly, to tell you the truth, my daughter takes most of my time and energy, and I just couldn't do both. Not to say my mother's infirm, she's not, but it was still another person in the house that I had to take care of. Ow! You bit my toe. Jelly bean. But in any case, she moved up to Oregon to live with my older brother. Now, my older brother is diabetic, and he has actually lost pieces from both of his feet. So having my mother up there to help him while his wife is at work during the day, that was a good choice. And honestly, my mother is sick of the heat and humidity in Texas, as we all are right now, and was perfectly happy to move up to Oregon. So her birthday's in October, and of course Christmas December. So on her birthday, I usually send her a gift card, and for Christmas I send her a gift with a gift card. And so I figured, you know what, for Christmas this year, a couple of bookmarks and a Starbucks gift card. Last year I made her a quilt in her favorite color, purple. So she'll have her book, her bookmark, a drink, and a blanket, and she is all set for the day. So going with a theme here. But in any case, I figured she would like some pretty handmade bookmarks made specially for her by her daughter. So that is my next project once I finish Winnie the Pooh. Now, once I finish those, my next project is also a Christmas present, and is for my husband. And I have it all kitted up and ready to go. In the evening, after the kitchen is clean and my daughter settled in her room and everything has settled down in the house, my husband and I sit in bed and, we'll read, or he'll snore and I'll read, or he'll read and I'll stitch, or whatever. It depends on my anxiety. If my anxiety is high, I cannot focus on reading. But stitching calms me. Just the methodical counting and doing something with my hands calms me. if I've already finished my book that day, I have nothing to read. So I will stitch. But in any case, he does like to read. And his current bookmark is a 3-year-old scrap of Christmas wrapping paper. Because men. So I figured I would make him this bookmark. And the man loves ice cream. He would probably sell me for ice cream. So I figured this would be perfect for him. Now, this one obviously is for him, so I can only stitch it during the day when he's at work. So it might take me a couple days. Like my daughter's Pooh Bear. I have to basically get her set up with either Animal Crossing or Disney's Dreamlight Valley, or wait till she goes to bed before I can work on that. Because the child is nosy, and so is her daddy. They're both nosy. What are you making, Mom? What's that for, Mom? So, I can only stitch on his when he's at work. But that is my next plan, after my mother's bookmarks. And hopefully bookmarks won't take long. And I can't imagine them taking that long, really. I'm throwing things in the floor again, because it's what I do. But anyway, the next plan after that, and this one is a maybe. It depends on how much time I have once I get all the bookmarks stitched and the Pooh Bear stitched. There's another one that I was thinking about doing for my husband if I have the time. And since I dropped it in the floor, now I've lost my spot. Because of course I have, because I'm awesome. There it is. My husband's a big time fisherman, loves his fishing. So if I have time, I would like to do this one for him. I think he'd really like it. And it's not a large design. It's only, 110 high by 80 wide. So it's not like it would be hugely time consuming. And it's all full crosses, nothing fancy. There is backstitching, but I don't mind backstitching. I like to backstitch. And this is just from a design from the August 2021 Just Cross Stitch magazine. Let's not show my address. Not that anybody cares. But I would like to be able to do that one for him for Christmas. Now, if I don't have time to finish it before Christmas, what I might do is go ahead and start it anyway and finish it in time for our anniversary in March. So if I need a little extra time, I can do it as an anniversary present. Luckily, this is not Christmas themed. It doesn't have to be a Christmas present. But I do want to do that for him. If not for Christmas, which I hope I can do it for Christmas, but if not for Christmas, then for our anniversary in March. So those are my plans. And I have 2 fighting kittens on the dog bed while the dog lays here at my feet. Because of course I do. But at least they're not destroying my room anymore. As I said, you see the lovely hole in my fabric shelf. Yeah, I'll be folding that up later. But anyway, that is everything for the cross stitch. So if you're only here for the cross stitch, now's the time to go away. Thank you though for joining us. I don't mind if you're just here for the cross stitch. I'm fine with that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On to the gardening. We are still suffering 100+ degree heat here every single day with no rain. We did get rain yesterday, which we were grateful for. And of course that ratcheted the humidity up to like 100%, so you couldn't breathe outside. But the garden is pretty much extra crispy. Some of the herbs are still going. Mostly the Mediterranean herbs. The oregano, the basil, the white sage is still going. I still have a rue plant out there. Everything else has been harvested and dried, basically. The pigeon peas are still fine. They're tropical. They're fine. And the peppers are fine. Everything else is gone. Burnt to a crisp. And that's fine. Honestly, I have a master's degree in horticulture. I have paperwork proving I'm an expert at growing things. But I will tell you, anybody who thinks that they can bend Mother Nature to their will is on drugs, because that's not how that works. Basically, you work within the parameters Mother Nature gives you, or you go without. We do try to grow most of our food, and we do grow a lot of it. But I am not one of those people who, if Mother Nature throws us a curveball and something I plant doesn't work out, I'm not going to go into hysterics. I'm not going to go into a depression. If what I grow works, great. I will harvest it and process it and preserve it however I'm going to preserve it, whether it's canning, freezing, jelly, jam, whatever. And if it doesn't work, okay, I will sit down and rethink it. Maybe adjust the planting time. Maybe the soil needs amending, whatever. Maybe there are pests that decimated it. But I'll adjust it until it does work. Now, that being said, our seasons, which we have 4 seasons in Texas. We have spring, which is really nice. Spring is spring. We have spring weather. Green grass, trees leafing out, fruit trees flowering, new gardens growing, new growth sprouting. Now, normally our plants don't die off during the winter. They just don't, because we don't get cold. We typically don't get cold enough, long enough for them to die off. Same thing with our mosquitoes, which is lovely. But spring is a typical spring here. Then we go to summer. June, July. That's summer. Then we go to hellscape. August, where it is just beastly hot. Then we go to fall, which is summer the sequel. Okay? It's still warm. We're still in shorts and tank tops, and we're still gardening. Then we go to actual fall, which for most of the country is the first of winter. That's when our weather gets nice again. We open up our windows. We might have to wear a light windbreaker if it's, fall. Then we have winter, which winter is just unpredictable mess. You might get a freeze, but the next day it'll be 80 degrees. You might get snow, but the next day it'll be 75. So it's when Mother Nature goes off her bipolar meds, basically. And then we go back to spring. So what I'm going to do next month, September, the 1st of September really, is when we start planning and planting seeds for our fall garden. So what I'm going to do is rethink things, because science has done things to our climate. Now, I'm not getting political. I don't get political. I don't care about politics. I don't do politics, and I don't talk politics ever for any reason with anyone, including my husband, because I have realized that grown-ass adults are not capable of speaking about politics and still being rational and kind. And kindness is what I value above all else. So I just don't. But anybody who has lived in one place, I was born and raised in Texas, and I can tell you that our climate today is not the same as it was when I was a child, or even when I was a young adult. Don't get me wrong. Yes, climate change is a fact, but climate change has always been a fact. And I have a degree, I have multiple degrees in science, so I'm not saying man created all of this, but we helped. Now, that being said, our seasons have become so extreme that I'm going to have to rethink the way we grow things. And so what I am going to do is start treating our area as a short season area. We will grow in the spring, we will grow in the fall. I'm not going to mess with it in the summer, I'm not going to mess with it in the winter. Those will be cover crops that just feed the soil. End of story. Number one, even if our summers are not as extreme as they have been this year, I don't want to work in the heat and the humidity. So I'm not gardening in the summer anymore. And the same thing with the winter. So we're going to be rethinking things for the garden. And that's like this year. The scuppernongs, we didn't get any scuppernongs this year. They went straight from unripe, hard as a rock grapes to little burnt up crisps hanging off the vine. The birds didn't even get any scuppernongs this year. So that's a thing. Artemis is dreaming down here. But in any case, that's the garden right now. Starting next month, we'll begin sowing seeds for our fall garden. But for now, it's just in a holding pattern. And honestly, it's just too hot to do anything outside. It's dangerously hot. I mean, when it's 106 degrees with a feels like of 122, that's too hot to be working in the garden. My husband leaves for work before 7:30 in the morning, and it's already like 96, 97 degrees outside. It's just unpleasant. That's the garden. Sewing. Because sewing. I have begun cutting out Christmas presents. I have this lovely stack of things I have cut out. And in that stack, you've got flannel pajama pants for my husband. You've got some shirts for me, some shirts for my daughter, some hoodies for me and my daughter. I still have another stack of fabric here waiting to be cut out. As I said last time, most of our Christmas is handmade. We do have store-bought gifts. We do. My husband was all excited the other day because he got a package from Russia. He's a simple man with simple pleasures. But he had a package from Russia. And I'm like, what are, he's like, look, I got a package from Russia. I said, what are you ordering from Russia? He said, none of your business. I said, oh, Christmas, okay. So he's probably been on my websites because I have all of my little cards. And if I get a coupon when I've ordered something, I'll just stick it on my bulletin board so I don't forget about it because coupons are awesome. But anyway, so he's probably been nosing through my bulletin board to see. And he's probably started ordering Christmas gifts. Like I said, we do get store-bought gifts, but most of our gifts, probably 90% of them, are homemade. And my husband makes things too out in the garage with his wood. He's got a scroll saw and a router and all of these things. So when he has time, now here lately he hasn't had a lot of time because he works so much, but when he has time, he does make things. But I've begun that process, the whole making Christmas presents. I've started cutting fabric. It's going to take me a hot minute to fold all that fabric back up and put it on the shelf. But Snickers was helping. It's okay. It was Snickers or Jelly Bean. I can't remember which one. It was one of the little boys, though. They were determined they were going to climb to the top, and it didn't make it. But anyway, I have pretty much figured out what I'm going to make my doll for my daughter this year. As I said before, every year since the year she was born, she has gotten a custom design handmade doll from Mom. And that's the first gift she looks for on Christmas morning, so it better be there. But I think I have an idea of what I want to make her this year. And it's not the normal little, oh, look, it's a cute little rag doll with this frilly little dress. It's not that. That's not her style. But I think it's going to be a little girl with pigtails and probably a little romper made out of Disney fabric, because it's all about the Disney. And I may even figure out how to do mouse ears. Depends on my mood. But that's it for the sewing. That's it for the garden. That's it for the cross stitch. Again, I thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me in my craft room as I ramble. When I started this Flosstube channel, the idea was just to join the community, maybe make some stitchy friends, and, you know, engage with like-minded individuals. But to be honest with you, putting myself out here was extremely difficult. And at the back of my mind, and still at the back of my mind, who cares what you're doing? Nobody's going to care what you're doing. But your comments have brightened my day. And I love them. I love them. So thank you for liking, for subscribing, for commenting, for joining me in my craft room. What's left of it after this morning. Because it had a rough time, let me tell you. But thank you. And if you like this video, I hope you hit the little like button, subscribe, share, comment, all that YouTube-y stuff, and I hope you come back. So enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy tonight. And I hope to see you next time. Bye. Why are you biting the ironing board? Really? I wanted to help people. Hi, Jelly Bean. I just got climbed like a tree. Why? Oh, it's wet and slimy. Why are you bullying the dog? She did nothing to you. I'm not saying I don't drink, but I do it at home with my husband. And if you notice, there went half my fabric off that shelf. Just for Christmas. Wow, okay. That went well. Cat just went wham!